What's up, homies? This is Doug here, and today we're going to be climbing ranked with a different type of deck. As opposed to our Grow Aggro, we're going to go Simic Flash. We got 2 Paradise Druids, 3 Quenches, 3 Gold Spiral, 2 Hydroid Crisis, 3 Brazen Borrowers, 2 Euros, 3 Mystical Disputes, 3 Sinisters, 3 Gadwicks, 4 Night Pack, 4 Field Mystics, 2 Wilderness Reclamation, and 3 Nissas. Now you're probably thinking, why would you have Wilderness Reclamation in a Simic Flash deck? Well, we do run 4 9 pack ambushers, but mainly whenever we fall behind, we can't just catch up on our opponent's turn. So hence the Hydroid Crazes with the Gadwick, especially with Wilderness Reclamation. We can go Gadwick late game. Let's just say, even if we have Wilderness Reclamation up at turn 5, right? We can go Gadwick, tap for 2 extra, draw 2 cards, untap everything. So if we drew something like a Quench, Sinister Sabotage, or Field Mystic, guess what? We have our mana open. We can go Nissa, well, we're doing this reclamation, Nissa, and then turn after we can go Crasis and just get an additional more amounts of value than you would without just having either of those. So that's why I personalize it, because it lets me play and then untap, and it lets me tap and then untap, because even if we do create the creature, since it's still a land, it taps for Wilderness Reclamation. So this is our sideboard. We're going to go with 3 Aether Gust, 2 Negates, 1 Canderous Transformation, because sometimes you can't get rid of creatures, so you just gotta change them. Sorcerer's Spyglass, Mystical Dispute, Crushing Canopy, Chemist's Inside, and an extra Hydroid Crisis. The reason we have 4 sideboard is because, once again, Wilderness Reclamation, and if they're playing a deck that, let's just say, burns you, doesn't have creatures, well, you can just take out the Gadwicks. Because for 3 mana, he can be expensive, seeing as how it is 3 blue. But without further ado, we're up against Jekio, as we are in gold, what was it, Division 4. So we're going to start off with a Forest, Breeding Pool Island. We got a Gadwick, Sabotage, Growth Spiral, and an iPack Amateur. We're going to keep, because we have a turn 2 play, and then a turn 3 play. Breeding Pool comes in tapped. Our opponent goes, what you got? He goes Mountain. He plays Fervent Champion, because you can never forget that Mono Red is a thing. We're going to just pass the turn by playing the Forest. We're not going to fade the passage until he can come in untapped, which we have the mana to. Our opponent goes second Mountain. He goes another Fervent Champion. That's fine with us. He attacks. We're going to go down to 15. And then he's going to more than likely, what do you call it, light up the stage afterwards. Alright, so it's our turn. He's going to pass priority. We're going to then go Fabled Passage. Yeah, let's just crack it now. Seeing as how it's on the end of the turn, we're going to get it untapped anyways. We're going to get an Island so we can go Gadwick. We drew a Nissa, which is really, really helpful. We're going to go Gadwick for 1. Draw that card. It was an Island, so now we can go Nissa the turn after. Our opponent sees what Gadwick is doing, and if we choose to block, he is just going to Bone Crusher Giant, the Stomp. And seeing as how they have First Strike, we kind of don't want to block. So for right now, they will just swing for 4. I'm not going to block. We're going to go down to 11. Our opponent then goes Bone Crusher. He just hard cast. Because if we choose to tap it, oh no, we can still tap it. So here's how we can do things. We're going to go Nissa. We're going to +1, create a 3/3. And then we are going to pass turn. So here our opponent is thinking, what does he have in hand? But he sees that we have a Torbrand. So we're going to Growth Spiral. We're going to tap the Bone Crusher Giant. Temple of Mystery comes to our hand, comes in tapped. We're going to send that island to the bottom. Torbrand's going to come in. We're going to take 4, 5, 6 damage. He's actually attacking Nissa. You know what? We're not going to block that. Yeah, we're not going to block that. We have another Nissa in hand. It's fine. So what we can do is go Nissa, +1, untap this Forest, submit, and then we are going to pass turn. we can't Sinister Sabotage, so if he does go Emberth, we will be screwed in a way. But thankfully last turn he wasted his attack on an attack. To the Nissa, not to us. So he decides to pump, that's fine. We're gonna block and then tap. So here we're gonna block here, block here, block here. We're gonna tap these for mana and bring in the Night Pack. Interesting, interesting. What does that go on? Oh, look at that. I think that might be game, folks. Yeah, we're gonna go down to 2, but that's 7, so look at that. So, we unfortunately got not as good a hand as he did. Especially since, like I said, you don't want to depend too much on Wilderness Reclamation, but we didn't get a lot of blue cards to play, so a lot of his cards just kept being untapped. Yeah, you know, like, blue cards pair really well with Gadwick, which we do run some, like Brazen Borrower, Quench, and all that, but hey man, sometimes it just be like that. So we're going first. We got 2 Islands of Forest, Gadwick, Night Pack, and Nissas. We're not going to keep this. I don't see any good potential keeping that. We did get a different hand. Breeding Pool, Temple, Forest, Euro, Frilled Mystic, 2 Night Packs. We're going to keep this, send a Night Pack back. Start off with Temple Mystery, what's at the top. Growth Spiral, we're going to keep it. 1, it lets us go turn 2 to turn 3, and it draws us a card. Our opponent goes Stable Passage, and he cracks it immediately. He wants to share his secrets. It's a mountain. Interesting. We're going to go Forest, pass turn. Our opponent goes Forest, so this is Grow Aggro. He goes Careless Celebrant. He decides to pass turn. We're going to go Growth Spiral. Get that Breeding Pool, comes in tapped. So we're going to play the Forest. We're going to go Euro. Draw a card, gain 3 life. Play that Island. So now we're at 5 mana. And we have a Night Pack Ambusher and a Frilled Mystic we can play. We're going to pass turn. We have 1 card engraved, so we can't cast Euro just yet. Our opponent goes second Forest. He goes Spellbreaker. He gives it a +1/+1. He attacks with a 2 and passes turn. So we're going to play the Forest. And then we're going to, well, we can tap in for a 4/4 Krasis. Not for right now. He can Lava Coil, which is a big potential threat to our Krasis if it comes in as a 4/4. We are more than likely going to take that 4 to the face. Whoa, he plays Steam Vents? What kind of a deck is this? He attacks with the 4 and the 2, which is fine for us because then we're just going to go Night Pack Ambusher during his turn. We get that 4/4, we draw that Sinister Sabotage, so we have 3. We don't have enough to play it. So we're just going to pass turn and create that 3/3. Now we have Chump Blockers that his Careless Celebrant can kill without having to hurt our Night Pack. Our opponent plays a Breeding Pool tapped. He then goes Domri's Ambush, and we're going to Frilled Mystic it. He does have the mana to play another one. But if he does Domri's Ambush or Night Pack Ambusher, then we can just Chump Block the Careless Celebrant without care in the world. And he has a Thrash. So instead of giving it a +1/+1, it just deals damage to target creature or planeswalker. We don't much care about the Spellbreaker. Like I said, we have enough mana to get a 4/4. So what we're gonna do is, let's see what we got in the top before we draw it. It's a Quench. Do we want to keep it? Sure, if he goes a big B6, you know, it's not gonna be that bad of a problem. We're gonna go for a Krasis 4/4. We got a Gadwick and a Sinister Sabotage, which is really good. So that means we can draw 4 cards off of Gadwick. Our opponent shocks in a Stomping Ground. Interesting. He goes Hydroid Crisis for 4. Tries to copy us. He attacks with Spellbreaker. We're gonna block, obviously. And that means that we have 4 cards in graveyard. So we're gonna go. We're gonna draw for 2. Keep that Quench up. Because yes, we got a Brazen, so that's really great. If he does try to do something like, oh, we're gonna kill your Gadwick, or we're gonna, you know, give it something that can't make it block or something like that, or just pump up our Hydroid Crisis, even if we quench it and he still pays for it, his Hydroid Crisis is still tapped. So our opponent goes Crisis. We're gonna obviously quench it. He can't pay. We're gonna tap his Crisis on board. He is gonna draw 2, gain 2, which is fine with us. But what that means is that we can then go Euro and get a 6/6 on board. So next, I'll attack. Next, we're gonna go. Yeah, we can go Euro. Obviously pay the 4, gain the 3 life, draw a card. We then have enough mana open for Sinister Sabotage. And we got a Crisis off that. That's just amazing value. Even if he doesn't choose to do anything but attack, we can always bounce it back with the Brazen. But we're at 16, so we don't mind taking that 4 damage. So he's going to cloth this. We're just going to negate it. Tap the Crisis. He expansions are sinister. Look at that. What kind of a deck is it? Temur Control? No. Temur Aggro, I guess? It's really weird. I've never seen this kind of deck. But he gets that Clothis. He goes Gallia. He chooses not to block. That's cool with us. We're gonna go. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we're not gonna do anything, but for right now, just attack. Get that card draw. That's beautiful. That is a beautiful card right there. So we're gonna go Wilderness Reclamation. Paradise Druid. Pass turn, untap every land, and now we have enough for Brazen, Quench. Oh, that's fine with us. And a Night Pack, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we don't have enough for Night Pack, but we do have enough for the Quench, the Brazen, and the Brazen. So we're gonna Brazen that. We're gonna tap your Crisis, obviously. He's gonna pay, that's fine with us. Resolve. Does it come in with a +1/+1 or haste? If it comes in with haste, we can obviously block with the Night Pack. So before we move to combat, I will obviously return the Clothis and then tap the Gallia. What are you thinking about there, buddy? Domri's Ambush. So obviously we can't stop that. So we're going to return the Clothis, tap the Gallia. That's fine with us. We are then going to Brazen. Alright, so here is where things are going to get really nice. We're going to attack with these two, deal 9 damage. Unless he chooses to jump block. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to pay with the Paradise Druid because she doesn't untap from Wilderness. Our opponent goes Clothis, that's fine. He has enough mana to, what do you call it, pay for Mystical Dispute. He goes Careless Celebrant. Once again, that's fine. So the last card in hand was the land. He chooses not to attack, so we're going to return the Krasis. So we're against Pascal Jund. Alright, we got a Breeding Pool, Forest, and an Island. Quench, Brazen, Euro, and a Night Pack. We're going to keep this, and our opponent goes first. He's going to play that Forest. He goes Healer of the Glade. Is this Elementals? Breeding Pool, tap to pass turn. Our opponent goes Simic Guildgate, tap, goes another Healer of the Glade. Attacks with the 1. We're at 19. We're going to go Island, and then we're going to pass turn. We drew a Mystical Dispute. Our opponent goes Growth Spiral. That's fine with us. He goes tapped Overgrown Tomb, so this is Sultai Ramp. He goes Thornwood Falls. That's fine. We're going to Growth Spiral. Get that Forest in there. Attacks with the 2 Healer of the Glade. We go to 17. So here we're going to go Forest. Euro's Titan Nature's Wrath. Bring in the Temple of Mystery, Scry. We're gonna keep that on top because it lets us then go Brazen and Ambusher at the same turn. We do have that mana open for if he tries to do something tricky with blue mana, we can Mystical Dispute. Leafkin Druid, so this Sultai Elementals. Interesting. Our opponent then goes Fabled, doesn't crack it. Attacks for 2, we go to 18, it's our turn. That tells me he has a counter. Either that, or he can be holding it for a black mana, so he can go, what do you call it? The Knight, Murderous Rider. So we're just gonna pass turn. We're taking 1 damage, technically 2 damage each turn, which is fine with us. It's nothing too scary. Our opponent cracks the Fabled, and he grabs an Island. Doesn't do anything with it. It's his turn. He plays another Fabled. He attacks with all 4. We're going to drop in the Night Pack. He has 2 cards in hand. So if he does try to do something fishy, we have a Mystical Dispute with the blue mana open, or a Quench with 2 mana open. It's a 3 first. So he can go Casualties of War. No, he doesn't have enough black mana, but I think he might get it right now. That is correct, he gets a Swamp. And he attacked the Leafkin, so I don't think he can go Krasis for 5, although it looks like he wants to. So yeah, he goes Casualties of War. We're going to Quench it, obviously. So now that we know that's his endgame, we're going to keep this mana open, attack with the 4. Get a 3/3, and then have our Sabotage open and our Mystical Dispute. If he tries to play anything bigger, we can just Brazen. Bigger permanent. He goes on another Fabled Passage. We're going to let that Euro go. At the current moment, it's not going to stop us. He does have 5 cards in grave, so if he does try to cast it again, once again, Mystical Dispute. Hey, look at that Temple of Deceit with it. That's a nice top deck. We, on the other hand, have 2 cards in graveyard. So pretty sure he's gonna either get that Forest or Island. No, he's gonna have to go for a Forest because he has 2 blue and then 1 green with the Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, he goes to that Forest. He casts Juro, and we're gonna Mystical Dispute. Hate to say it, buddy, but you just got disputed. And you know what they say, Captain of the Debates teams always remember. So our opponent, hey, look at that, another Mystical Dispute. Has no cards in hand, has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana on board. We're gonna attack for 7, create another 3/3. We're not gonna go too wide for the fact that we're having advantage as our opponent is top decking. And at this current point, he has 19 life. If he does play a draw spell, Krasis is an exception. If he does play a draw spell, we're going to counter it. I mean, we're not going to counter it because we don't care what he draws. We care about what he does with those draws. So for example, as he's tapped out, yeah, he's gonna play a land. That's fine with us. Jeez, dude, how much life are you gaining? And seeing as how we keep making more tokens, to us it doesn't matter. Once he gets rid of our Nightpack Amateur, then we can go, not balls to the wall, but we can go Nissa into, let's see what else. We attack, we get another 3/3. And once again, we still have a counter, a hard counter in hand, and a Brazen. Our opponent goes Risen Reef, that is fine with me. Cavalier of Thorns, this is where we're going to sabotage. We're going to send that breeding pool to the bottom. We want to see a Wilderness Reclamation at this point. Not to mention it also helps fill up our graveyard, so we have more than enough cards for Euro. Alright, it seems like it's our turn. We're going to play the Force. Attack with everything. Once again, we keep making more 3/3s, and he's kind of stopped making life. We don't have any hard counters. We do have a Brazen. So if he does, let's just say, gets another Cavalier of Thorns into the field, we can just return it back to his hand. We make a 3/3, and all he has on board is a Risen Reef. Sorry about that, guys. I'm kind of thirsty, and I don't have my water on me. So that's fine. He has 1, 2, 3 mana open. He's about to get a 4th one. I don't count the 5th one coming in with Risen Reef because it comes in tapped, whether he pays the 2 life or not. And he reveals a Watery Grave. He does not pay for it. Oh well, it came with Risen Reef. And he reveals Forest, Swamp, Overgrown Tomb, Island. That's fine. He gets the Overgrown Tomb and he decides not to pay for it. Look at that. He then goes Euro, which... that's fine. And here why this is fine. He goes to 11, sure. But we have a Gadwick and a Brazen. And we're going to return 1 card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We're going to keep that blue up. We're going to then tap that blue. Return the Cavalier of Thorns. Tap the Euro. Swing with everything for game. Because that is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Even if he blocks the 4/4, which he's gonna be down to -1. And once again, even if you have the advantage with Simic, you don't want to go balls to the wall. And that's how you play the deck, and that's what we'll be using to climb ladder. Once again, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a nice day. If you see any misplays you guys want to point out to me, please let me know. Any better plays I could have done with, regarding me not seeing their hand, please let me know. And if you have any decks you want me to try, just put it down in the comments description below. Thank you guys and have a nice day.